Here's the latest on Rome's most visible active archaeological excavation. We're going to dive right into a big update on the ongoing dig of a huge portion of the historic Via Alessandrina of the 16th century in front of the Forum of Augustus and a surprise shrine restoration project. You can already see here that the excavation project is coming to fruition to reveal more clearly the remains of the piazza and the Forum of Augustus in front of the preserved Mars Ultor temple with its raised podium and marble steps.
Hey, this is Darius right here in the heart of the Imperial Forum section of Rome. Two new projects that we can take a look at. One is the re-erection of some column fragments right here behind me, and then we're going to trace along that story, the ongoing story, which is the excavation of the famous historic Via Alessandrina, which is going to really reveal to us the remains of the Forum of Augustus. So let's take a look at these two new projects.
Thanks for liking and subscribing to my channel and for joining me in Rome for this exciting project. Don't forget, you can see an earlier video on the same dig from some years ago over at Ancient Rome Live on YouTube. Now first, let's locate the current project in Rome. We are in the neighborhood of the Imperial Fora. Julius Caesar built the first annex of the Forum proper, and he dedicated it with his name in 46 BC, and that was followed by Augustus, who dedicated his much larger forum in 2 BC. Then there was the Forum of Peace by Vespasian, and the Forum Transitorium of Domitian or Nerva, and finally the Forum of Trajan in AD 113. Although after antiquity some monuments were always visible, like the Markets of Trajan, Trajan's Column, and the firewall of the Forum of Augustus, it's the fascist-era excavation that obliterated medieval and Renaissance quarters to reveal the archaeological sites visible on either side of the Via Fora Imperiale today. One of the few traces of that demolished neighborhood on the modern street level was the Via Alessandrina, cutting in front of the Markets of Trajan and the Forum of Augustus. Now you see here that the excavations in front of the Markets of Trajan began as early as 219 to remove the Via Alessandrina section. And this portion, the excavations, were completed during the time of COVID. And we can see here from the vantage point of the Markets of Trajan, looking down at the excavated section of the Via Alessandrina in 2021. Now, in 2025, we will track the recent developments in the past year, the demolishing of the rest of the Via Alessandrina in front of the Forum of Augustus, as well as the conservation and public preservation of the Trajanic era shrine found in the decades past excavation of the Imperial Fora, specifically the Forum of Trajan.
So right here we have a little section, a little shrine that's part of the Forum of Trajan, and you can see right down there the Cipollino column shafts. They're going to be re-erected as part of a new project of anastylosis. So they're going to re-erect 2 columns of this small shrine that's actually technically in the Forum of Trajan area. And right next to it, the final dismantling of the Via Alessandrina continues. So we have a lot of work going on here along the Via Fora Imperiale. It's going to look radically different when the project is complete.
Public images of the project show us that the shrine, or religious space, that is right between the juncture of the 2 forum spaces, the Forum of Trajan and the Forum of Augustus, is indeed a sacred space, but without a temple, in Latin templum. But it was some sort of place to mediate between the 2 personalities. It had to be a dedicated space, ushering you in from the Forum of Augustus into a new personality. Temple of Trajan, instead, is behind the Column of Trajan. So something different is going on here. It probably has something to do, changeover space, the junction between the 2 forum areas. And what we can see here is the well-preserved Corinthian green columns that are going to be re-erected to draw more attention to the space, as well as highlight its rich decoration.
Hey, this is Darius here again on a 3rd video on the Via Alessandrina. The excavations continue, and you can see here they've made a lot of progress along the Forum of Augustus. They're dismantling what remains of the Via Alessandrina. This is a long-term project, but don't worry, it's not just going to be about dismantling this road. Obviously, it's an excavation at the same time, and new ancient material is being recovered, buried within, immersed within medieval walls, but also it's going to be part of a larger project that, again, I've been talking to you about in the past, in past videos, that you're going to have extended pavilions in the area that will bring forward the public into very large open piazzas that will bring us closer and closer then to the Forum of Augustus than we've ever had before. But it involves the dismantling and further excavations of this area. This is done with the PNRR money, which concludes in 2026. So there's a lot of work to do. We can explore then this ongoing process of recuperation. And again, you know, this area is really busy with activity because we also have in the distance the Torre dei Conti. And the Torre dei Conti was it's just a tragedy during the restoration not so long ago this fall, which included the death of one workman. So we have the ongoing restoration, recuperation of Torre dei Conti. We have the excavation on the other side of the Forum Transitorium in the Forum of Peace itself. At the foot of the Torre dei Conti, we have the demolishing of the once impressive Via Alessandrina that ran right through this neighborhood. The neighborhood was destroyed by Mussolini. Now the road is finally being fully excavated and removed in 2025. And then we have the anastylosis project, which is going to involve the re-erection of these column fragments from this shrine that's attributed to Trajan. It's part of the Forum of Trajan. We can see the column of Trajan in the distance. So there's a whole lot of new material that we can explore today. Okay, here we are, progress. This is the most up-to-date revelation of the Via Alessandrina excavation. Look at that, you can really see the Forum of Augustus, the steps of the Temple of Mars Ultor. You've never been able to see it from this angle until now because they're obliterating what remains of the Via Alessandrina. So surely we're going to be arriving at the bottom pretty soon, but this documentation I think is one of a kind. Over the months, even years, but I see there's a little bit of acceleration here on a beautiful, beautiful day in December. I think archaeologically what's going on right here is one of the most interesting things because we've got a big old wall from imperial times cutting out at an angle. So we always wonder about that connection between the various fora. Caesar to Augustus, Augustus to Trajan. Here we have an interesting wall feature that's coming out that's going to give us some more information on how you transition, how you went, how you defined that space from Augustus to the Forum of Trajan, how we pass from one area to another. Really exciting. And a lot of work week by week is being revealed. This new excavation ongoing. And finally, we'll do another video when there is no more any of the remains of the Via Alessandrina. So this is history in the making right here. Thanks for joining me here in Imperial Rome, looking at these new excavations, these new conservation projects. You can follow me also on Instagram and X at Darius Arya Digs. And of course, please like and subscribe this video. I've got a whole bunch more to share with you in Rome and throughout the empire.